everyone, welcome all of you to our YouTube channel. Today we are here with books part 3. So let's see what are the books. The first one is The Old Man and the Sea. The second book is King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. So then let's start with The Old Man and the Sea. Here you can see some pictures of the same story, and let's move on to the details of the book. Author of the book is Earnest Hemingway. This book has published in 1952, and the main character of this book is Santiago. He's a fisherman. Here you can see a picture of Earnest Hemingway, and here are some other books as written by the same author. Okay, let's move on to the story of the book. Santiago, who is the main character of the story, is an old Cuban fisherman. He had not caught a fish for more than 2 months. Manolin, the boy who worked with Santiago, had forced by his parents to leave the old man and join to work on a different boat, but Manolin continued to support him with food and bait. Santiago was a mentor to the boy who cherishes the old man and the life lessons and he imparts. One day, Santiago took his skiff far out into the deep water of Gulf Stream to make his luck changed. There he could hook a giant marlin. With all his experiences and strength, he struggled with the fish for 3 days, and the fish's strength, dignity, and faithfulness to its identity was as true as Santiago's as a fisherman. He finally reeled the marlin in and lashed to his boat. However, Santiago's exhausting effort went unnoticed. Shark had drawn to the tethered marlin, and although Santiago managed to kill a few, the sharks ate the fish, leaving behind only its skeleton. After returning to the harbor, the discouraged Santiago went home to sleep. In the meantime, others saw the skeleton tied to his boat and were amazed. Concerned Manolin, relieved to find Santiago alive, and the two agreed to go fishing together again. So let's move on to the next one. King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. Here you can see 2 pictures of the same book, and let's move on to the details. This book has written by Roger Lancelyn and it was written in English. This was published in 1953 and it was illustrated by Lancelyn. There are mainly 5 chapters and there are some sub-chapters as well, and then the main character of the story is King Arthur. Here you can see a picture of the author Roger Lancelyn, and there are so many other books which are written by the same author. And here I'll mention a very few of them. The first one, Tales of Ancient Egypt. Then the second, The Adventures of Robin Hood. And the third, Tales of the Greek Heroes. And then The Tale of Troy. Then finally, The Myths of the Norsemen. Then let's move on to our story. In very early Britain, King Vortigern had many fights with Picts and Scots, and the land was never long at peace after Vortigern's invitation to Saxons to settle in Britain and help him. Those Saxons came from Germany and Denmark. Their underlying purpose was to massacre Britons or drive them out from the Britain and settle in their houses. After the death of King Vortigern and Aurelius Ambrosius, Uther Pendragon, brother of Aurelius, became the king and led the Britons. He defeated the Saxons in many battles and brought peace to the southern lands where he was king, to London, to Winchester, which was then called Camlet, and to Cornwall, where Gollois' loyal follower was duke. But Uther fell in love with Gollois' wife, and because of that, there was a battle between Uther and Gollois. Then Gollois defeated from the battle and he died. After, Uther married Gollois' wife, called Igraine, and they had a son. Only the wise Merlin knew what had happened to that child, and also Uther didn't have any other children. But Igraine and Gollois had 3 daughters. When Igraine became the queen of Camlet, her 2 daughters had married, and the youngest was still a child. She was Morgana le Fay. She learned much magic and used them wickedly. King Uther Pendragon had only a little while of happiness with Queen Igraine, because Saxons made war against King Uther once more again and sent a traitor to serve Uther, and that traitor poisoned the king and many of his followers. Then King Uther and his followers died. After this cruel time, King Uther's knights fought with each other to be the king, and Saxons knew that there's no strong man to lead Britons against them, and then they conquered more and more of Britain. Many years passed like this until the appointed time was at hand. Then Merlin, the good enchanter came out from the deep, mysterious valleys of North Wales, which was those days called Gwynedd, through Powys and passed on his way to London. And so great was his fame that neither any Saxon nor Briton went to stop him on his way. Then Merlin came to London and spoke with the Archbishop, and a great gathering of knights was called for the Christmas days for a service. In the middle of the service, there arose suddenly a murmur of wonder outside the abbey, for there was seen a great square slab of marble stone in the churchyard. No one saw how it came there, and on the stone there was an anvil of iron, and a shining sword of steel was thrust deeply, point downwards into the great anvil. When the service was ended, the Archbishop and the lords and knights who had been within the abbey came out to see the wonder of the sword. They saw something had written around the anvil, set in the great stone in golden letters. So then, this is the end of today's video. Don't forget to like, comment and share our videos. And thank you all for staying with us. See you soon with another video. Until then, bye.